So moved. Walton.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Okay. Before we get started, I just want to say there was a conversation at the last meeting, and we are requesting that all public input cards be inputted before the discussion, and so we'll make sure that's done to make sure the flow of the meeting goes well. Okay, with that, we'll start with number 2, self-administrative report.
So for the sake of time today, because I know many of you are probably wanting to get next door, my report is very brief. In your packet handouts today, you have a copy of our CAC newsletter. And I just wanted to highlight what an awesome CAC we have, and I wanted to thank all of you for the members that you have appointed. You'll see that there's an article about the Legislative Sharing Day, and Sharon was there with us. And then Martina, I know, went with OMSD and about 7 other people. And then our art and writing contest and ceremony, again, was just an amazing experience. And thank you again to Alta Loma. I know Sharon said the other day you had 500 chairs, but there was standing room only. So that was just awesome. And you can see that James Moore and Sean Judson were there along with Ted, shaking the hands of every single student. And the photo opportunity was appreciated by the parents. And we had 5 happy families that got the Disney dollars. So it was all good. And then this year we had a phenomenal Life After High School event. Many thanks to our vocational team, Inland Regional Center, and the Rancho Community Center. We had over 150 people there with a number of booths, and then we had breakout sessions on conservatorship and on how to access services that students will need in adult life. So just a really great event. So they pulled all this off in 2 months' time. It's really pretty fascinating. So thank you again. And our parents really appreciate it. The other item I wanted to bring to your attention, you have in front of you our completed procedural manual. So this has been a labor of love that's taken quite a while. And I'm sorry, actually using the microphone, I guess. Is this on? Okay. If you'll turn to just inside the cover, you'll see that you probably all have staff that participated in the updates of this procedural manual. And it hadn't been updated for 8 or 10 years. So we're very pleased to provide that to you too. So now with a new local plan, a new policies and procedures booklet and procedural manual, we think you're in good shape. And then finally, I'd like to thank the many people around this table that have worked with us this year. It's been very challenging to make sure that we've covered every last thing, and we probably haven't for the downsizing of the WESELPA. But we know that many of you have been in work groups of various sorts, and I just really wanted to thank you for all of your support as we've gone through this. We've been working very collaboratively with OMSD in helping to assist that they'll be in a good place too. And so we know that we need to continue to partner together, because today is the last day we will be officially together. And so just wanted to thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, Susan. All right, number 3, parking lot review. Susan?
At our last meeting, there were a number of items that were brought forward by the public, and one was brought forward by the district. And so we really need some time to delve into some of these, because they could be deeper discussions possibly. So the first one is an ex poc reserve discussion. And so we are putting these on the agenda for September in the discussion, so you can determine as a group what you want to take forward or what you want us to prepare for subsequent meetings. Nancy Kelly had asked questions about the facility for West End SELPA, and so Chris Cox has a presentation ready. He will present that in September from the county. And then there had been a question about which districts participate in West End SELPA. And so that will come forward for discussion in September. And then there was also a question about the scope of legislative advocacy for the SELPA. And so that will come forward in September also.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, 9:36, we're looking at opening public comment, and we do have a few cards here, and so we'll go ahead and start with Martina Ortega.
Hi, I want to thank again the 4 superintendents that arrived early for the public hearing. Thank you for showing up early. For those who were not here at 9 a.m., I'm hoping that Susan will go ahead and let you know what some of the concerns were during the public hearing. I will go ahead and repeat myself though. As a parent, I have concerns about the annual service plan. Specifically 745, the reading services. Again, I'm asking the K through 8 schools to please make sure your special education students can read. Again, reading is a life skill. I also want to talk about Sacramento trip that I went with Ontario Montclair School District as part of CAC. I'm the vice president. I did request more funding for special needs students, but with accountability. I did advise our legislators that WESELPA has a blank check when it comes to litigating against parents. And just the consent that I was glancing over, I mean, $8,000 for an FBA and 17 hours for a BCBA supervision, that those $8,000 would have more than covered that. Why litigate? I'm pretty sure if you're requesting an FBA, a child has behavioral problems. But once again, please don't, please educate our kids. Oh, I did tell the legislators that WESELPA is moving back to Aspen and buying all new, brand new furniture. And I know that Upland had requested that maybe WESELPA be in a location at a school, which is more cost effective, especially for us taxpayers, and maybe that money should go to special education instead of a fancy office. Thank you.
All right, David Palmer. And you have 2 items here that you can speak to at the same time while you're up there. Thank you.
Yes, and the first one I wanted to address just a Public Records Act that I had requested. I brought forth to the last Superintendents Council meeting because I had heard nothing from it when I submitted it back on March 29th, 2017 versus email, via email. And when I brought it to attention last time, I heard back from Susan Bobbitt and Karen Johnson in regards to that request, and my email had gone into their junk or spam and for this, for the WESELPA. And so, because of that, they were changing the date of my request to the date that they received it at the Superintendent's Council. And so I don't agree with that. I think that that is by error, and that is an error on the part of the IT department here at WESELPA that's under the direction of Susan Bobbitt. And so I emailed back this comment, and I know I did CC you, but I'm not sure if you've read it, so I want to read it out loud to the public and to the superintendents. So on May 2nd, I sent this email to Ms. Bobbitt Roth. I can appreciate you experience technical difficulties on your end. However, this does not change the fact that I sent my PRA request on March 29th, 2017. I am curious why I am being blocked from the system. My email was sent from my personal, single-person email account. The WESELPA should do well to have spam filters that appropriately identify spam and not reject emails from parents within the WESELPA. In addition, your technical department would benefit from conducting audits on their filters to test aggressiveness and/or false positives within your system. Clearly, the filter's aggressiveness needs adjusted as it rejected a parent's single account email. I do not accept the changing of the date of my PRA request. So it is still my position that that PRA was done out of the timeline allotted for it. So that's my one comment.
Thank you.
On my other comment, I just wanted to share that I'm not sure what the process is. We did have a public hearing here at 9. As Martina Ortega shared, there were 4 superintendents here. I'm not sure what the process is to inform the rest of the superintendents who you're about to vote on the budget. how are you informed about the comments that were brought forward from the public? There were 2 public comments made during that time. I'm assuming that that's not information that you've received prior to your vote right now. So again, I want that on the record. You have procedures in place that do not inform you as superintendents about the issues that you're going to vote on. So I would ask you to review your processes so that it does include the step of bringing the public comments forward to the superintendents who are going to vote on that. And also, lastly, in the matter of Armida I-Chains, versus, or actually Upland School District versus Armida I-Chains, I wish to serve this subpoena to Royal Lord III. Consider yourself served. Thank you.
All right, this concludes our public hearing section, and we'll go on to item C, discussion items. And the first item is Community Advisory Committee Annual Report, and that's Sharon Knoll. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, well, I probably don't look like Israel because I'm not. However, the West End SELPA chair, who is Israel, is a psychologist at a nearby school, and they were unable to do without him this morning, so I'll be giving his report instead. I'm Sharon Knoll. I serve on the CAC as a parent representative for the Altaloma School District. I'm chair-elect and chair of the CAC Local Plan and Legislative Committee. I am pleased to provide a report on the many accomplishments of the West End SELPA Community Advisory Committee during the past year. We have met, better this way? Okay, we have met our goal to add to our membership this year with the addition of a member from Upland and also a teacher representative from Altaloma. So we're growing, and that's exciting. And I'd like to share with you about some of the things we did with regards to trainings and events. We did meet for business meetings as outlined in the bylaws of the West End SELPA local plan. As part of the governance process of the West End SELPA, we have reviewed and had the opportunity to provide our input on the WESELPA local plan, the procedure manual, and the updated policies and procedures. We have reviewed proposed budgets and most recently the annual budget plan and service plan. As far as trainings go this year, in November, Royal Lord and Gardner de Robert provided a session on educational benefit of the IEP. That was well attended, and I think people got a lot out of that, and some good questions were asked. Great discussion. Thank you for that. In February, our local agency representative, Robin Ferguson from the Inland Regional Center, she presented on mental health in childhood, signs, symptoms, treatment, and support. And that was a nice training we haven't done in the past, so mental health, that was important. Additionally, all parents were invited to attend our 4-hour ADR strand provided by the West End SELPA. Thank you for that. So events. We were pleased to collaborate with the Inland Regional Center and the Rancho Cucamonga Community Center to provide Life After High School event on April 4th. More than 150 people participated, and they had access to agency representatives, brochures, and other materials, and breakout sessions to learn about the future for planning with their child with disabilities. There's great pictures in the newsletter that you have in your packet today, so take a peek if you have a chance. We also did our 19th annual art and writing ceremony. It was held at Vineyard Junior High on April 25th. Thank you for all who attended. As Susan said earlier, we had 500 chairs set up. We had standing room only. It was a wonderful event. Thank you to Altaloma for letting us host there. It was nice to recognize the students for their skills and talents, and there are also pictures. On May 3rd, Susan Bobbitt Voth and I participated in the state SELPA-sponsored Legislative Information Sharing Day in Sacramento. I want to personally thank the council for approving this activity for us 5 years ago. This was my 3rd opportunity to go up, and the nicer thing about this year is when we walked in, we weren't strangers anymore. So we have built relationships with the legislators and their staffers. So when we walked in, they were, wow, how's it going? How's your daughter? I remember the stories about whatever it was, and what are you guys working on today? So that was a really nice relationship that we're building, and I felt they were more open to listen to some of the key and important issues that we were bringing forth. We have published 2 newsletters. You have one. and the other one was earlier in the year. I think we're very busy. And I would like to thank the staff of the WESELPA. Thank you to Tim and Susan and Karen for helping us bring to our community, I say us, I mean the CAC members, bring to our community things that we really couldn't do without your support. I never get a, no, we can't do that. I always get a, yeah, and if you want, we can do this too. And I always feel like, wow, that's a lot of extra work for you. Like, are you sure? Because we love to throw ideas out, but oftentimes with our busy schedules, we don't have time to make all of our great ideas happen, and they are so instrumental. So thank you all for that. And in closing, I'd like to just remind you that our CAC is comprised of highly dedicated parents who value the opportunity to represent their districts and serve together in an advisory capacity to the WESELPA. We thank you for your dedication to ensure that the needs of all the students with disabilities across our WESELPA are met. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your active participation on the wonderful. Oh, you'll be your chair. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to number 2, Procedure Manual Revised, Spring 2017. Susan?
Yes, and I already mentioned in my report, you have a copy of it, and we'll be sending that out electronically, and the PAC members already have a copy of it.
Thank you. And number 3, Tim, Fiscal Notifications.
Thank you and good morning. Jumping right into Fiscal Notification A. This is our final XPOT contribution transfer. Each district's XPOT contribution transfer is based on their P2 ADA multiplied by our XPOT contribution rate of $30.75. We took about half of that amount in December, and this is what is known as a second half or final 50% transfer. In total, $1,702,200 will be transferred from districts to the XPOT. Notification B is similar. It's to pay for our SACE contract. For this current school year, our SACE contract was $92,428. It's paid out of the XPOT. That amount is spread out proportionally to each district by their prior year special ed pupil count. Again, we took about half that amount in December. The second half, or final contribution of $46,213, will be transferred from districts into the XPOT. Notification C is just an update to our low incident. You have 3 columns. Column A is your projected amount for each district. Column B is the amount of intents that have already been submitted. I've been telling districts from the get-go to always submit a little bit more than you're projected to receive, because we don't know at year end what type of interest income or what the Pacific Hearing PO will end up being. So if you submit a little bit more than you're projected to receive, and if the numbers change slightly, we'll get you back as much as possible by the end of the year. And then finally, notification D is the third quarter XPOT reimbursement transfer. This transfer is for districts to reimburse the XPOT for their share of cost. In total, $1,400,685 will be transferred from districts to the XPOT. Any questions on any of the items? Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Moving to number 4, Superintendent's Council Vice Chair yearly rotation. Susan?
So as you know, each year we rotate alphabetically in the list of districts who is the vice chair. And so this year it has been Mountain View. So thank you to Rick Carr, even though he's not here. And next year it falls to Mount Baldy. And then you can see for subsequent years what it'll be.
Oh, congratulations, Mount Baldy. All right. Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Okay, moving on to number 5, Public Records Act request. We do have this public comment. Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, this is about the timeline for the Public Records Act request. So I thought I would show as an example the timeline for my Public Records Act request made recently, as I stated, beginning on March 29th, 2017. And then a month later, April 28th, 2017, I made a public comment in regards to that here at the Superintendents Council. Then a few days later, on May 1st, 2017, my email was pulled from the spam on that day. And then I received the actual response on May 15th, 2017. So even with their